My beloved child, this is the moment when a divine orchestration is being unveiled in your life. It is not by chance nor by coincidence but by the precise alignment of heaven's design. God is sending someone, not just anyone, but a soul refined through fire, tears, and the silent years of endurance and growth in the light. This person does not come to fulfill your dream but to walk with you in fulfilling a sacred part of heaven's greater plan. It is someone your soul was predestined to meet, not for admiration but for companionship, not to possess but to serve together. God says, when I join two souls, it is not so that they may gaze at each other but so that they may look together toward me. Therefore, when this person enters your life, recognize my sign within their eyes, their words, and the peace your spirit feels in their presence. That peace does not arise from fleeting emotion but from the deep assurance of the Spirit that you are standing in the right place, walking in the right direction, and stepping into the expansion of your divine calling. They come not to change who you are but to strengthen what I have already placed within you, for only when two pure streams meet can they merge into a mighty river that brings water to a thirsty world. Archangel Michael says, open your spiritual eyes to recognize the one who is sent, for they will not come in splendor but in humility. They may enter your life as softly as the morning breeze, without noise or display, but within them carries a light strong enough to expose the shadows you have not yet seen. They may not speak much, yet their words carry the energy of healing. They need not prove themselves, for their very presence awakens the deepest parts of your soul. When you meet them, something within you will arise, not the passion of the flesh, but the quickening of the spirit, as though you have heard a bell ringing, calling you back to your true purpose. My child, prepare your heart to receive, for the one who is sent cannot be welcomed through doubt, but only through faith. God does not send them when you are still wandering, but when you are mature enough to see with the eyes of the Spirit rather than the eyes of the flesh. They mirror the things you have prayed for in silence, perhaps not in the form you imagined, but precisely as your soul has truly needed. They will teach you patience, teach you to love without attachment, to trust amidst uncertainty, and to stand firm beside one another through the winds of testing. Remember, every encounter ordained by heaven carries purpose. Do not fear if you do not understand at first. Do not judge with reason, for my plans often transcend human understanding. You may be tested once again, not to make you fall but to teach you how to love from a purified heart. They may touch old wounds within you, yet it is through that very touch that I will heal you once and for all. As Micah 7:8 says, though I have fallen I will rise, though I sit in darkness the Lord will be my light. Yes, that light will shine not only within you but between you and the one I have sent. Let this meeting become a holy covenant where two souls bow together before the throne of glory, not a relationship built on need or fleeting emotion. For when two chosen ones unite, they do not only bring blessing to each other but become instruments through which heaven's blessings flow down to earth. Together they will rebuild what has been broken, rekindle lamps that have gone dim, and open new paths where once there was only ruin. God says, I will use them as two torches in my hand to illuminate the darkened land. Therefore, my child, do not fear when you find yourself led into unfamiliar places, for it is there that I will reveal my power through your union. It is no accident that this person is placed in your life at this precise moment. The appointed time has come. Rise up, open your heart and walk forward with the confidence that I, the one who began the good work in you, am also the one who will complete it through the sacred connection I have ordained. And when you look back, you will realize that every separation, every lonely night, every prayer, shed in tears, all of it has led to this moment, the meeting point, where heaven and earth touch in a divine encounter that was always destined to happen. Do not doubt, for this connection does not come from man but from my own hand. And that hand, my child, has never made a mistake. My child, I know the wounds you carry in your heart. There were nights when you bowed your head in silence, wondering why those you trusted turned away, why the love you gave became meaningless. You faced rejection, that sharp splintering pain that cracked your heart like a broken mirror. But my child, it was in that rejection that you were being separated from what did not belong to you, so that you might step into what was meant for heaven. Those who pretended to love you were never your enemies, they were instruments used to shape you into strength. They were travelers passing briefly through your journey, sent to teach you the difference between true love and illusion, between genuine kindness and clever deception. When they left, they took nothing from you, they only left behind the wisdom you needed to grow. God says, I have seen your tears and I know the weight in your heart. But do not fear, for I am turning that pain into fertile ground for a new season. It will no longer be a season of darkness, but one of light and divine companionship. Archangel Michael says that the era of isolation has ended and the door of divine connection is opening. Someone is being sent into your life not to fill the emptiness but to walk beside you in the light. They do not come to replace the past but to unlock the future. That person has been prepared long ago. Within their soul are keys not made of metal but of faith, mercy, and light. These keys can unlock the laughter you thought had long died and open the doors of trust you once sealed shut in fear of being hurt again. When this person arrives, your soul will recognize them not through words but through the peace that floods within you, the kind of peace only the Spirit can plant in the heart. You will not need to try to believe. Your soul will open naturally like a flower meeting the Sunday. Archangel Michael says, they are not coming to fix you but to restore what heaven has ordained. They will see the light in you even when you cannot. They will believe in the goodness within you even when you still doubt yourself. And when these two souls meet, their union will not merely be a bond between two people but a covenant between heaven and earth. I have written their name beside yours in the scroll of destiny long before time began. My child, those who left were not failures, they were promises renewed. If they had stayed, you would never have learned to cherish what is true. If they had not left, you would not have discovered that true love does not take away your peace but anchors you in divine rest. Those who hurt you were fulfilling their role. They helped you realize that you need love from the Creator, not from the flesh. And once you learned that truth, you became free to love without fear of loss, to give without needing return, to live without craving recognition. God says, I am bringing someone who knows how to hold your hand without possessing it, who knows how to walk beside you without overshadowing you, who knows how to love you with light, not darkness. This person will not seek to own you but to build with you. They will not paint false promises but let their actions testify to their love. In them you will find stillness, not the silence of emptiness but the peace of a soul resting in true light. You will find yourself smiling again, not because someone made you happy but because you feel grace in every breath. You will begin to believe again, not in people but in heaven's perfect plan. You will love again not because your heart no longer fears but because it has been healed, and in that journey this person will not be your savior but your companion. Together you will light a candle in the deepest corners of your soul where darkness once tried to cling. As written in Isaiah 6:1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." That is the word for you today. This light not only illuminates your path but also radiates through you to enlighten others. And the one who has been sent, they are the mirror, through which you will recognize how powerful that light truly is. My beloved child, pause and listen in the stillness, for this is not merely a message but a divine confirmation from the heavens spoken directly to you. The one drawing near to you is not a stranger but a witness of spiritual battles, a soul who has walked through their own deepest valleys. They know what it means to lose, to taste the salt of bitter tears, and to kneel in the night while no one heard their cries. They have carried their own cross not because of sin but because of a mission refined through fire, and for that reason they will never take your heart lightly. They understand the value of loyalty, of healing, and of true love. God says, "I do not cause two souls to meet by chance but by divine appointment in the light." This person does not come to decorate your life but to fortify the foundation I have begun to build. You will not need many explanations, for souls recognize one another in silence. Harmony is not born from words but from a sacred breath where two hearts vibrate to the same frequency of heaven. When they look into your eyes, you will not see curiosity but understanding. When they hold your hand, you will not feel possession but protection. And when they pray for you, you will know that you are no longer alone on this journey. Archangel Michael says, "The one who has been sent is an instrument of restoration." They do not come to replace what you have lost but to awaken what you thought had died. They bring with them the keys of peace, of joy, and of faith once shaken. When they step into your life, their light will reach into the deepest corners of your soul, into the places where darkness once ruled. And that light will not burn you, it will warm you like dawn after a long cold night. My child, remember this: heaven does not release blessings to hearts unprepared. That is why you have endured trials that seemed unbearable, losses that made you feel forgotten. Yet in every tear I have written lines of destiny. You are not broken, you are being reshaped. No fracture within you is meaningless, for it is through those cracks that my light enters in. God says, you think you are late, but in truth you have arrived at my appointed time. You feel left behind, but I have held you back only to ensure that when you move, everything is ready. The one I prepared for you could not have come sooner, for they too had to pass through their own season, a season of trial, endurance, and refinement by fire. And now, with both souls purified, the moment of meeting has been opened. Not sooner, not later, but precisely on heaven's clock. My beloved, do not let the fear of the past blind you to the new thing I am doing. This person is unlike anyone you have met, for they do not come to take but to give. They do not come to lead you astray but to remind you of the way home. You will recognize the difference the moment your spirit touches theirs, not through reasoning but through a deep inner knowing. That peace will move you to tears, not out of weakness, but because you will finally realize that you have been seen, understood, and loved without condition. Archangel Michael says your season of loneliness has come to an end. This is the hour of sacred union. When two souls destined to meet finally cross paths, both heaven and earth begin to move. Doors that were once closed now start to open, and what once seemed impossible becomes possible. You will begin to notice divine alignments, words, melodies, moments that make you realize the unseen hand of heaven is guiding your steps. It is not coincidence, my child, but a sign. And when you enter into this sacred communion, remember that it is not only grace but also responsibility. Love as you have been loved, with patience, with kindness, and with unshakable faith. Let this love be the place where God is glorified, not where man is exalted. For only when two souls are turned toward Him does love become eternal. As Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for good to those who love God. Yes, even the tears, the years of waiting, and the long nights of solitude, all have been the building blocks of this journey. Now you no longer have to search. The One is drawing near, and your soul is ready to receive. Beloved soul, a new season is approaching, a season in which all that heaven once promised you will begin to blossom like tender shoots after a long rain. You have waited, sometimes through tears, sometimes in silence, sometimes feeling as though your prayers had fallen into emptiness. But now the door is being opened. Not because you have done enough, but because heaven's appointed time has arrived. There are things that cannot be born in haste. They can only come forth when the soul has learned patience, when the heart has softened enough to receive true love. And now, my child, that moment has come. It is time to release what has been held too long. Heaven delays no more, for what you once prayed for has reached its fullness. The one you are about to meet does not come as a blind miracle, but as the fulfillment of a divine promise. They are not coming to stir emotion, but to bring the peace your soul has long yearned for. They carry a light not blinding but strong enough to dissolve every shadow of doubt. They will wear no masks of deceit, hide behind no half-truths, for they have been refined in the very fire through which you have walked. They come to journey beside you into a new chapter, one with no space for falsehood, no room for fear, and no trace of old wounds. When they appear, you will not recognize them by reason but by the deep stirring within your spirit. Their eyes will see you as heaven sees you, not through your scars but through the light you carry. They will not try to change you, for they know your true worth lies in the essence God Himself designed. You will no longer strive to be loved nor beg to be seen, for they will notice you even in silence. Their presence will soothe your heart like a gentle breeze passing over dry ground, whispering, "You are home." This person bears a faithful soul, a heart tested by fire, one that has learned to love with humility rather than possession. They come not to control but to walk beside you, not to prove but to build with you. Their loyalty cannot be measured, for it flows not from emotion but from a mission heaven has inscribed upon them. They understand that true love is not bondage but freedom in unity, not eloquent promises but quiet acts of devotion, like sunlight that does not announce itself yet warms the whole world. My beloved, remember that love sent from heaven requires no noise to be affirmed. It will prove itself through its endurance. The one who is coming into your life will not use eloquent words to hide emptiness but will demonstrate truth through every action. Their kindness will not be built on fleeting emotion, but will flow from spiritual discipline and purity of heart. When they say "I am here," it will not be a mere promise but a vow written in light, one that only a soul refined through trials can truly comprehend. In a world where people so easily walk away when affection fades, this person will remain, When storms rise, they will not seek escape but shelter you instead. When you are weak, they will not judge but lift you up. When you are silent, they will understand that it is not distance but the rest of a weary soul. They will see the deepest parts of you, those places the world can never reach. And in that gaze you will find healing, not through sudden miracles but through love that is mature, genuine, and enduring. Faithful soul, this is the reward for the journey you have walked. Heaven never forgets those who have loved deeply even after being wounded, nor those who have continued to believe after betrayal. As it is written in Psalm 3:5, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And now that morning is dawning for you. The song of joy that approaches is not from the world but from heaven itself, the place where your destiny is being revealed. This person will not make you doubt, for they are the answer to your prayers. They are proof that true love still exists, that loyal hearts are still guarded by heaven, and as you step into this new season you will see that every past wound was not in vain, every moment of waiting was not wasted. All of it has led you to this moment when you no longer need anyone to prove their love, because heaven itself is testifying to it through the one sent for you. Now open your heart, beloved soul. Receive the wonder that heaven has prepared. Let this love become the place where light is honored, and let your heart, after years of endurance, finally rest in peace. For what you once prayed for has come, not in the form you expected but in the way that makes your soul know this is true grace. My beloved, be still in this very moment and open your heart, for something sacred is about to be revealed. You do not need to look far to find your blessing. It is drawing near, moving toward you, knocking on the door of your spirit right now. The movement of heaven is not a vague promise of someday but a living reality sprouting like a seed breaking through the soil. Your soul has already begun to sense this shift in every breath, every heartbeat, in that inexplicable stirring within, in the hope that rises without cause. Though the world around you seems unchanged, something within you is trembling with life. That is the whisper of heaven signaling that a new season has begun. You may not see it yet, but each time peace fills your heart amidst uncertainty, it is a sign that heaven is near. When joy brushes gently against your spirit for no apparent reason, it is not an illusion, it is your soul resonating with the frequency of light. When you no longer feel the need to control everything but simply wish to surrender and trust, that is when the Holy Spirit is leading you into a deep transformation. Every hardship you endured, every tear you thought was wasted, is now being forged into the foundation for the grace that is coming. So, my child, prepare your heart not with fear but with stillness and gratitude. For true blessing does not come to those restless in search, but to those who have learned to wait in faith. Preparation is not an outward act but an inner process, learning to forgive, to release, and to open yourself to the new. Look back, and you will see that every season of loneliness was not a punishment but a preparation. Every breaking was not the end but the hand of heaven reshaping you, so that when true blessing arrives you are mature enough to receive it with wisdom and humility. There were moments when you wondered why you had to wait so long, why your prayers seemed unanswered, but now you will understand heaven was never silent, it was teaching you how to listen. The blessing was never delayed, you were being refined to become worthy of it. Just as gold shines only after it passes through fire, so too must your soul endure the furnace of trials to radiate the pure light of faith. And then when the appointed time arrives, someone will step into your life not as a fierce storm but as a gentle breeze carrying the fragrance of peace. You will not have to struggle to recognize them, for your soul will know. They will not come to overwhelm you but to make you feel safe. Not to stir up turmoil but to bring calm. Not to fill an empty space but to build something new with you. When their eyes meet yours, you will realize that every moment of waiting was worth it. Every crack in your heart will begin to heal, not through words but through the presence of a soul that vibrates on the same frequency as yours, a soul destined to walk beside you in fulfilling a divine plan from heaven. Then you will see that every time you thought you were left behind was actually a moment of divine positioning. Every time you believed you were late was in truth the perfect moment in God's flawless timeline. Every time you felt forgotten, He was rewriting your story with invisible ink. And now those sacred words are beginning to appear. My child, look deep within yourself where quiet joy mingles with an unexplainable stirring. That is your soul responding to the call from heaven. Be ready. Not ready to fight but to receive, not to control but to trust. Not to understand everything but to be led. For when the blessing comes, you will see why every tear, every heartbreak, every silence carried meaning. As it is written in Romans 8:1-8, the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. That glory is drawing near to you, not loudly but unmistakably. It will not come from outside but from within, like light spreading outward from your heart into the world. And when that person appears, loneliness will no longer feel like a burden but as the very road that led you to grace. You will know that every silence, every waiting, every wound, was heaven's invitation preparing you for this moment. Therefore, steadfast soul, do not tremble before uncertainty. Dawn is near. What you have been waiting for is coming, not in the form you imagined but in the shape of what you truly need. Open your arms, keep your peace, and step into the new season with faith that everything which once caused you pain will now become the reason you smile. The blessing is coming, gentle as a breath yet powerful enough to change your life forever. My beloved child, when that person draws near, you will not have to try to recognize them, for your soul will sense it before your mind can comprehend. A profound stillness will envelop you, not the emptiness of silence but the peace that emanates from divine presence. Every chaotic thought will begin to settle like waves that cease their roar when they meet the ocean of tranquility. Your heart, once trembling in fear of loss, will slow down, soften, and know this is where it belongs. That peace will not come from words but from the energy of truth, from the breath of one who carries heaven's imprint within. For wherever the light of Archangel Michael shines, chaos cannot remain. And the one God is sending to you is covered in that radiant light, a soul who knows how to remain calm in the storm, how to love not through words but through presence. You will not have to chase them, plead to be seen, understood, or loved. They will arrive at the right time, neither early nor late, carrying the fragrance of the season heaven has ordained. Child of light, do not hurry. Some things, if they come too soon, will only be tests, not blessings. Impatience often makes you feel forgotten, but it is truly the testing of faith. God never forgets faithful souls. He is protecting you from what is false, from faces that smile but hold emptiness within, from fleeting connections that lack the strength to carry you to where He has destined you to be. Some people are sent only to teach you a lesson, not to stay. Some doors must close so that the true one can open. And some seasons must be waited for, because if you pick too early, the flower will not yet bloom and the fruit will not yet be sweet. Archangel Michael says, "Your waiting has not been in vain." Every silent day is a brick that heaven is laying to build the bridge leading you to what has been promised. Therefore, do not see the waiting as emptiness, but as the sacred foundation of preparation. Grace can only descend upon hearts that know how to endure and believe even when nothing is yet visible. When you stop searching with mortal eyes and begin to perceive through your soul, you will understand that time is never rejection, it is the highest form of protection. My child, the silence of God is not distance, but the sacred space in which He arranges every good thing for you. There are moments when the sky and sea seem still, not because the waves have ceased but because the winds are shifting. Even when you see nothing, heaven is moving more than you imagine. Above, the heavens are opening and the angels are preparing the path. Every thread of destiny is being rewoven. Once again your name is spoken in that holy realm, and the one who is being sent has already heard that sound echoing within their heart. When that person comes, you will not need to ask, "Is this the one?" for your soul will know. The peace within you will be the answer. That knowing will not arise from fleeting emotion but from the depth of your spirit. You will feel as though you have met them before in another lifetime, in an old prayer, in those nights when you wept and whispered, "Lord, please send me someone who understands my soul." And now that prayer is being answered. Let your heart soften, do not close it because of old wounds. Trust that heaven knows what you need better than you do. They are on their way, not hastily, not loudly, but in perfect alignment with divine timing. Just as spring comes without needing a promise and dawn shines without needing an announcement, this person will arrive in the most natural way in the exact moment you are ready. God says, "My peace I give to you, not as the world gives." This peace is not the absence of the storm but the ability to stand firm within it unafraid. The one who is being sent to you will embody that peace. In their presence, your soul will find rest and your heart will know it has finally come home. Therefore, faithful soul, remain steadfast in faith. Let time become your companion, not your enemy. Let silence become your sanctuary, not your prison. For once heaven has spoken your name, no power can delay the grace that is meant for you. Simply keep your heart at peace, for what is ordained will find its way to you gently, surely and gloriously, like the first light of day. Thank you for listening to this message. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any divine messages. Amen.